All right, so the U.S. government shutdown is in effect. There have been 12 shutdowns since 1981, ranging in duration from a single day to 21 days, according to the Congressional Research Service. All right, here's ALFRED, our EBC Hawaii correspondent, to explain to us more on what a U.S. government shutdown means. ALFRED tells me earlier that he actually experienced 3 shutdowns in the U.S. So let's get it from the expert. ALFRED?
For those of us who know a little bit about the federal government is this. As a result of the Senate unable to pass a spending bill for the president to sign for this year, the U.S. government will still continue to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on a limited scope and without a spending plan as required by law. So some services, some programs will continue to operate while others will not until a spending bill is passed and signed into law. Let's break it down for you. Now we're going to start off with an area that's near and dear to a lot of folks here in Hawaii and throughout the Pacific, and that's defense. Bottom line is this: military operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria will continue, shutdown or no shutdown. So do the operations in the defense of the Korean Peninsula, particularly for the military in South Korea. So do the troops in Japan, Guam, Alaska, and Hawaii. Here's the difference. Come Monday, all Defense Department civilians will report for formality and receive their notices of what they call a furlough, a formal layoff of no work until further notice, until a budget is passed. Why? Because a lot of these tens of thousands of DoD civilians depend on the budget for their payroll. So come Monday, a lot of them will just show up for work and formally receive their notices of furlough. For anyone who's ever been through an airport here in the U.S. should be familiar with these personnel in blue uniform that ask you to remove your shoes and or your electronic personal devices out of your bag to go through proper screening. They're from the Transportation Security Administration, and yes, they will continue to operate full-time during the government shutdown. In fact, 90% of the personnel within the Department of Homeland Security, which the TSA belongs to, will continue full-time operations. Diplomatic missions, along with passport and visa services throughout the world, for the most part, will continue to operate even during the shutdown. What may be affected will be the government employees, which have a similar category as the Defense Department employees that depend on appropriated funds. They will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. So once again, most U.S. embassies and consulates around the world will continue to operate. Now, there are other concerns worth noting as a result of this shutdown. The first, nearly half, or about 44% of employees from the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, might not make it to work on Monday at a critical time when the new tax plan has just been enforced and America is gearing up for tax filing season. Number 2, health experts from the Health and Human Services Department might not be available to address any new concerns in regards to this ongoing flu season, which is at its peak throughout the nation. Number 3, employees from the Transportation Department might not be available to provide any assistance during this harsh winter season. And last but not least, it is the first time in recent memory that a government shutdown is decided upon in an election year. Reporting from Honolulu, Hawaii, I'm ALFRED for Eagle News. I'm one with 25. Back to you.